welcome to Massive Beers. My name is Matt. We do the beer stuff here. Conclave Brewing. Yeah. Conclave Brewing. You know our love for the Conclave. This is their Symbology series, Mabon. We're just going to say Mabon. That's how we're going to pronounce it. The triple IPA. That's right. 9% alcohol by volume. Brewed and canned in Brereton Township. Ooh, we got a date in the can. I didn't realize they started dating our cans. Okay, that's pretty cool. Canned on 10/10/24. We're looking at 10/16. And this is a hyper freshie because it was given to me by Keith from 93 Lumber. Go check out Keith. You know Keith. I'm kind of pumped I get to review this because this is a post Beer Tuber Palooza beer. Keith must have stopped down and ordered this online and stopped everything on his way down, or picked it up previously. But I actually stopped at Conclave on my way to Beer Tuber in hopes of maybe I'll get one of these. I didn't get it. I got some Pilsner and brought some beers down, chatted, had some fun, and it's like, okay, that's fine. They didn't have any cans because they sold out. Lo and behold, here we are. Their Symbology series is kind of like their high ABV, hazy, kind of more popular series. I have not had any of that, just because it's an online sale that sells out really quick, and you go down and pick them up, and I just don't hit Conclave all that often in order to do that. Kind of pumped to give this sucker a whirl. Label-wise, it's what Conclave does. I would say Conclave might be the leader in the clubhouse of maybe not my favorite labels, but now some of my more favorite labels. So they definitely stepped up their game. And we're talking, it's been that way for a while now. Their labels have been awesome. But I like this kind of singular pattern they typically do, and they just kind of change it up over time. I really dig on it. So I like their art design. Simple and very understatedly cool. Beer-wise, I mean, it kind of looks what you'd expect from a triple IPA. Maybe a skosh darker than what the upper echelon ones that I've ever had. They tend to glow a little bit. This one tends to be a skosh darker, but again, it's not like weird looking in an oxidative sensor. It just looks like a big old rich hefty IPA. Just an index finger, a barely off-white head that's super tight and compact, so it looks like a big, thick, dense hazy. Hey, 9%, you would hope so. Let's see if we can get a nose. Got the burps. Here we go. Okay. I think we're in for some mean muggin' beer. It's really kinetic energy is kind of the way I want to describe it. Like, it feels like it's a huge beer that's going to explode with a lot of flavor and taste, even though the nose is a bit subdued. That's why I use the word kinetic energy. It's almost like a 10 stout. They ever see those YouTube people where they put the rubber bands, those weird YouTube people, they put like rubber bands around a watermelon, and it's like just this tension until eventually it crushes the watermelon. They put out that one extra rubber band. I don't know why I use that as my analogy, but that's the way this beer kind of smells. It has this richness to it. It has this boldness to it. It has this big apricot fruit juiciness, tropical fruitiness to it. It has this little bit of ranky-dink, mean mugging green to it. But all of it seems like it's clouded underneath this tarp that's ready to explode. And what I'm trying to say in a very long-winded way is it's not that big of a nose, but there's something about it. There's something that's like has this heft and density to it. And it smells really, really good. That I feel like when you actually dive into the taste, this is going to have this release of flavor. So, again, stone, tropical fruits, under-ripened but sweet enough. This little unkept lawn, garlicky thing kind of floating around there. And again, nothing too crazy. And just has this kind of heftiness to it from aromatics to look, to feel. It smells like a big beer. Triple IPA is very picky about those. So we're just going to dive in and see what's what. Cheers, y'all. That's a good beer. It's very, very difficult for me to dig on triple IPAs. And this is really good stuff. I'm not going to sit here and say this is King S of F Mountain of all time, but man, It's really nice. There's a little bit of butteriness going on here, so there's a little bit of stress in it. There's a little bit of diacetyl in it. I am not hating on it at all. It is such a minor thing. I should have left it towards the end of the conversation rather than bringing it up at the beginning. First off the mouthfeel, it is that dense richness. Still drinkable. Doesn't come off choppy. Doesn't come off like heavy in a sense of drink, but it's heavy in its density, but at the same time, drink's pretty nice. Fruit-wise, again, this stone tropical fruit, kind of marmalade-y, kind of sweetness without getting overly cloying, decently attenuated, but it's still a little residual sugar. Don't shit Sherlock. It's triple IPA. I want it to be sweet. It's giving me that sweet. On the other end, things like, I thought it was going to be a little bit more ranky-dank, a little bit more unkept money, a little garlicky. It's still kind of there, but it's definitely kind of like a third player minus that fruit and mouthfeel. It's kind of just floating around there, and again, as this absolutely 100% needed kind of counterweight to that sweetness of the beer. And then, like I said, if you're going to knock this beer off, I'm going to really poop on this beer in any form or fashion, and it's the slightest little fart is that little bit of diacetyl and a little bit of butteriness in it. Again, for how rich and decadent this beer is, I think it almost skews towards a positive, because it just adds this element of something that's a little bit more kind of decadent and rich, but it's probably the least offensive kind of expression of diacetyl I've ever had in an IPA. And honestly, that can happen a lot of times with hop creep. Diacetyl as opposed to negative brew acetyl. Diacetyl, and that could be the case here because there's just a copious amounts of hops in this sucker. I dig this. I really do. Like, again, as I said pretty much at the get, it's very, very difficult for me to really get down and get hot and bothered about triple IPA. But I'll say that with a big asterisk. If they're done right, they're some of my favorite beers. They really are when they're done right, and this is definitely done right. If we're doing that Mount Rushmore that we love to do of all-time triple IPAs, maybe we're on a Mount Rushmore of vice presidents here, because there's, I could definitely find 4 that would have done me better in the history of triple IPAs, but this is very, very close to the top and worthy of being on there. Let's talk about it. Value and availability. I actually don't know how much this costs. I'm assuming this is in the 20s for a 4-pack. Anybody out there, please let me know and leave you with, if you like what you like this beer, if you like triple IPAs, if you like your big, robust hazies, you will dig this. I personally think it drinks like a 9% beer. I think a lot of people might be like, this feels like more like 7% beer. Fine, by you, but for me, what it's giving me volume-wise, absolutely appropriate for the 9% level. So if you like your big old hazy IPAs or big, rich, and dense in a drinkable package, Conclave. And honestly, it's like, Conclave, I've made no secret. It's one of my favorite breweries to go to, probably one of my favorite tap rooms to sit down and drink beer in. So you rarely get a huge miss from them in general, but being that this is this Symbology series, which tends to be these bigger IPAs, and they sell out quite easily, this is my first foray into them. I can understand why. So there you go. Reviewing the books. Hopefully you enjoyed. Conclave, have you been to the brewery? Have you had their beers? What's your favorite beer from Conclave? What's my favorite beer from them? Oh, that's so hard. I don't know the answer to that question. Anyway, have you had this beer? All that fun stuff down there. Hopefully you enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a little bit of a good beer right now. Hope to see you next time. Cheers, y'all.